Well, good evening, everyone. First of all, can I say how wonderful it is to be here representing an organisation that works for people with learning disabilities. And we're very proud that we're here as the first organisation, and the fact that we are represented. And moving forward, we want to develop that and work with you all. It's absolutely fantastic. We haven't got much time, which is why I've got slides going on and I'm going to talk, but there won't be many words after that bit. So the Music Man project is the UK's first full-time music education service that's specifically for people with learning disabilities. It's something that I started 15 years ago just as a Saturday music school. My own background is I'm a classically trained musician and a composer with Pinpoint Create and all sorts of other things I've done, and then I went into education and left as a deputy head teacher in 2012, and I decided to put that aside and change sort of the route of my career and run a full-time music education service for people with disabilities. And the real thrust behind our work is that we have to have education, it has to be enjoyable, and it has to lead to performances. So what I'm here to tell you today is that many people, I'm sure not here, but many people might assume that those people you see on the screen wouldn't be able to access the arts in the same way as that we do, and certainly wouldn't be able to put on big performances and then be entertaining and engaging and the like. Well, I'm here to say that we have moved on, and they certainly are. And with a particular patience and a particular approach, we can actually achieve something that's quite remarkable with people with learning disabilities. What I try and do, and my way in is, if you like, is that I believe that everybody has innate musicality. It's the very reason that if I go dum, da-da-da-da-da, boom, boom, most people will do that. And they will even sneeze in time as well. That was fantastic. So that's my way in, as it were. And what we found is that you might explain things a certain way and it won't be accessible at all, because of our students, they are from all sorts of different backgrounds with different disabilities. We do not turn anybody away. So it's in complete range of learning disabilities. But those same people performed at the London Palladium in June 2015. And it was a remarkable night. And we performed there with about 150, maybe 200 by the time we had all the children as well on the stage. And since that night, our work has really grown to such an extent that we are now setting up other centres around the UK. In August, we're going to South Africa to teach children in a chain of care homes for orphans with learning disabilities. And we've set up lots of other places. And I do training to encourage other teachers to do the same. So the end goal within the next couple of years is to have 12 Music Man projects around this country and to be linking internationally so that we can share our work and inspire others to do the same. It's really become a bit of a campaign. We're talking about vision and having a dream. Well, my vision for this is for it to be a campaign for equal rights for people with learning disabilities to be able to perform. And not just to perform anywhere, but to perform at the most prestigious venues. Because that way we can educate the wider society about what they can do. Not what they need, not what their disabilities are, but actually how the arts, and particularly for my case music, just transcends all that, and they inspire you just as much as their families and the work that they're doing. So that's taken us on quite a journey, which has happened very, very quickly. The charity single that was up there is called Music is Magic. And that's become our sort of guiding the phrase. And that charity single for one day was at the top of Amazon's Broadway song chart, and it pushed down Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera for one day, just by the amount of sales we had at the Palladium. And we talked a lot, haven't we, about identity. And if you think about the identity for people with learning disabilities, for a lot of them, they do not have an identity. They don't have something that they say, I am this, or I can do this, or this is my cultural heritage. They do not understand those concepts. But what they do understand is that they can now say, I performed in the West End. I sang this solo. A selective mute only a couple of years ago now sang on that charity single, the last line. Such is the power. I don't need to tell you about the power of music for helping and all that music therapy side of it. What I'm saying is we've moved on from that in many ways now. Now we are just teaching music, teaching creativity and entertainment, all that sort of stuff for people with disabilities, and they are doing it. So it led to the London Palladium, Our next concert we are trying to book at the moment is the Royal Albert Hall, because we've got so many more people that are coming on board with us that we now need a bigger stage than the Palladium. I'm all right, Marianne, the Palladium is one of the biggest stages in the West End, but it was a ridiculous squeeze. The sort of stress on the afternoon of getting all these, everybody in the wheelchairs and all the orchestra we had and choir meant that we now need a bigger venue. And I say to you all here, especially the artists and the other organisations, if you want to be involved in that, guest appearances, we had Circus Raj, with Hai Ching organised for us to come and do a guest item with us at the Palladium. We would love you to be involved. It's a great opportunity for everyone. But the stars of the show are the ones with learning disabilities. So I write the music and we get as much people in as possible, the highest production values we can. A few other very quick things. Natalie is here. Natalie Bradford is a co-tutor at the Music Man Project. She runs her own centre in Malden. She is a Royal College of Music PhD student, and her PhD is on the impact of music on the lives of people with learning disability. So everything that we are doing at the Music Man Project is contributing to PhD research. So in a few years' time, we'll not only have real evidence, what I call, doing the show, actually having the impact on people, we'll actually have academic research, scientific research, which actually says what they're doing and in terms of health and well-being, how music is making that impact. We also have lots of great support from Royal Mencap and other big organisations behind us. And the last thing, I hope I'm fitting in my 5 minutes here, this is good. The last thing, at the London Palladium, and this is all about really what we managed to achieve in terms of the journey we've come on, and we've spoken a lot about that this evening. I wrote a musical for the second half of the Palladium show. And this musical told the story of really the journey that people with learning disabilities have come to. Because if you can imagine, even 50 years ago, the thought of having a West End show, a Sunday night at the London Palladium, as we called it, completely performed by people with learning disabilities would have been absolutely impossible. Because a lot of these people, and it might well be similar in other parts of the world now, a lot of these people were just isolated in mental hospitals, along with anybody else that society couldn't quite understand. And so at the London Palladium, we did a musical, and it was called From the Asylum to the Palladium. And it was performed by the students themselves. And it was the most moving thing you could possibly imagine. And if you do get a chance, if you go to www.themusicmanproject.com and do see me afterwards for more details, you can actually see a complete footage of our show at the Palladium with that musical. So I want to say thank you, and thank you, Hai Ching, for inviting me here. And it's going to be a very exciting time in the future, because I want to reach out, share what we do here in the UK with you. Thank you.